Hey, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on Chris 6 Sunrise.
Yes, it's Monday, July 28th. Here's a look at what stories we're covering in your neighborhood.
Why are two separate companies suing Aransas County? I'm Adam Beam with the latest from the courts ahead.
Some talented performers in Port Aransas are taking a trip to the netherworld. I'm Erin Holly in Port Aransas with your preview of Beetlejuice Jr.
I'm Tony Jaramillo in Flower Bluff. I found a story here about a lemonade stand that raised more than just money. It raised spirits, all thanks to a 9-year-old girl.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday and welcome to Chris 6 Sunrise. You're waking up with the Hoffmans. I'm Michelle Hoffman.
And I'm Brian Hoffman. Oh, yeah, I got a feeling it's going to be a great week ahead. You know it too, right?
Yes.
Can you feel it?
I can feel it.
All right, let's see if Miss Julia Quaid is also feeling it with her forecast. Is it going to be a good week for us?
I mean, I'm going to be happy. We still got heat and sunshine on the way, so no complaints from me. I know some folks maybe won't be too happy about the news that we do have some more humidity coming back to the forecast for the second half of our work week. So it means feel like temperatures are really going to start to kick up and our heat danger will increase as well. But I'll get into that more into detail as we look ahead towards your forecast in the next few minutes. Right now, taking a look at your traffic flow, getting you out the door. Things are moving well, heading on the JFK Causeway, going to and from the island right now. No traffic issues for you if you're heading in that direction. Moving on over to Flower Bluff, got a little bit of a median speed that you're going to encounter throughout portions of Waldron Road and a little bit on Flower Bluff Drive, but for the most part, still looking to be pretty clear, and a bit of a slower speed that you'll see when you get closer towards the gate at NAS Corpus Christi. Other than that, Flower Bluff still moving pretty well for us this morning. Heading on over now towards downtown on Ocean Drive, down at SPID, and on Saratoga. All three of those roadways are looking clear with all those shades of green, letting you know that you got fast movement right now, heading on those three roadways right now, getting you out the door on this Monday morning. Now, giving you a bit of a snippet on the forecast. Again, things are going to be very hot for us here in the Coastal Bend all this week as high pressure is expected to be dominating our area in the upper levels of the atmosphere. So that means plenty of sunshine, lots of those warmer temperatures that will also start to trend slightly above average. More details we expect on that front coming up.
Thank you so much, Julia. So we've had some heavy rain over the weekend in some areas, but have those showers helped our ever-lowering lake levels? Well, as of today, our combined reservoir levels are at 14.9%. That's better than a week ago at 14.8%, so up by 0.1%. However, we are still on that decline, with our levels 1 month ago sitting at 15.6%. And 3 months ago at 16.5%. So we are still under stage 3 water restrictions because of that. Some of those restrictions include no lawn watering. Home car washing is limited to hand washing with a 5-gallon bucket on your designated watering day. Swimming pools can be maintained but must have covers on when not in use. Hand watering of gardens and plants is allowed, but only before 10 a.m. and after 6 p.m. And foundation watering by drip irrigation, that's allowed every other week on your designated watering day.
Listen up, drivers. You might want to be aware of a new traffic signal coming to your neighborhood. Starting this week, a new permanent traffic signal will be activated at the Port Avenue and Interstate Highway 37 frontage roads intersection. The signal will replace the always stop condition currently in place. So make sure you're aware of the changes and, of course, slow down in the work zone. And remember that all work is weather permitting as well.
Ghosts, ghouls, and a great show. I'm Erin Holly, your Port Aransas neighborhood news reporter, and Beetlejuice Jr. is ready to take the stage right here at the Port Aransas Community Theater.
14-year-old Audrielle Jimenez is the leader of the pack at PACT, also known as the Port Aransas Community Theater. Beetlejuice follows the storyline of Lydia Dietz, a teenager who's obsessed with death and gets haunted by the demon Beetlejuice. One of those dedicated people is assistant director Braden Jake. He's a senior at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Young actors from all over the Coastal Bend come to the Port Aransas Community Theater to be a part of productions like Beetlejuice Jr. And they tell me the Beetlejuice cast is like one big family. That's why this Beetlejuice family wants you to come see their production.
I'm Tony Jaramillo, your neighborhood news reporter in Flower Bluff, where one young girl took a childhood tradition and turned it into a powerful way to give back. Hey, Lily, can I get a glass?
Sure.
That's Lily Underbrink, a 9-year-old entrepreneur who set up a lemonade stand in Flower Bluff. But instead of keeping the $142 she raised, she decided to mix things up, giving every penny she made to flood victims in Kerr County. Her mom, Audrey Underbrink, says she couldn't be prouder of her daughter's decision. The family took the donation to Whataburger. They were already collecting money for flood victims. Lily tells me she's not sure if she'll set up another lemonade stand, but at the end of the day, she's just grateful to be able to help. From lemons to love, Lily's kindness proves that no one is too small to make a big difference. In Flower Bluff, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Tony Jaramillo, Chris 6 News.
And your neighborhood news reporters are hosting listening tours in every neighborhood. The next one is scheduled for today on the city's south side in Flower Bluff communities. Our neighborhood news reporter Tony Jaramillo will meet with all of our neighbors at the Janet F. Hart Library on Walden Road. He wants to hear what's most important to you, our neighbors, so we can cover those stories for you. The meeting is set for 10 o'clock this morning and is expected to last until noon.
Hey there, good morning, happy Monday. So we did see a little bit of some soggy conditions return to the forecast as we ended last week, a little bit beginning on Friday and continuing throughout portions of Coastal Bend over the weekend. Now today and looking ahead throughout your work week at large this week, things are going to be on towards a drier note, anticipating more of high pressure really dominating our forecast. It's going to mean that a lot of heat and a lot of sunshine will be in store for us here in South Texas. So let's go ahead and get into what else you can expect in the forecast for us this week. We'll be looking at, again, high pressure dominating, so it means a lot of heat, a lot of sunshine, starting out near average high temperatures to begin us off for this work week that will increase throughout the work week, along with that heat danger coming in with a little bit more moisture that will rebound in the area as we look ahead towards the midweek on your Wednesday. And again, even as we start to see some more moisture rebuilding back in the forecast, rain chances still aren't looking too promising for us this week at this point. So right now, going ahead and take a look at our current conditions across the area this morning. All of us, for the most part, sitting towards those upper 70s to lower 80s across the coastal bend. Lighter wind speeds still coming in from the southeast, just nearby, maybe 5-8 miles an hour, topping out near that range. So again, light wind speeds for now that will increase as we head towards this afternoon. Looking at our hour by hour, things will also increase with our temperatures reaching towards those lower 90s by 11 and 12 o'clock this afternoon. Also can see a decrease of that cloud cover. We'll start out a little bit cloudy this morning, allowing for more sunshine over the course of our day. Eventually looking at mostly sunny skies as we start to approach this afternoon. And again, seeing faster wind speeds, a little bit more clocking nearby 15 miles an hour by the time we reach towards this afternoon. And all in all, looking at today's forecast, again, looking at a high temperature of 95 degrees here in Corpus Christi under mostly sunny skies. A bit of a decent breeze to hopefully counteract some of that heat that we'll experience this afternoon. But again, still got that trend of slightly above average temperatures that we can't expect to last in the forecast, and actually extend a little bit as we go throughout the majority of our work week because of our upper level pattern here. High pressure just dominating all across our area here in South Texas as we look ahead throughout the majority of our work week here. Now, again, we are looking at a bit of an increase in moisture coming back to the coastal bend. That is going to mean higher feel-like temperatures and a little bit more humidity on the way. So it's also going to mean we'll see a bit of an extension of more of added heat danger and heat risk coming into the forecast this week. Looking at your 7-day forecast, again, still looking sunny and a lot of heat on the way.
I'm Melissa Trevino in Alice, showing you how one organization is helping students start a new school year while saving their parents money.
And coming up on Chris 6 Sunrise, we'll be joined by Scripps News Group's Washington correspondent Stephanie Liebergen to hear about the latest on the United States and European Union trade deal announced yesterday and how it could affect you.
Welcome back, folks. President Donald Trump announced a new trade deal with the European Union yesterday. But what are some of the specifics of the deal and what products will be impacted the most for us consumers?
Yes, we have our Washington correspondent, Stephanie Liebergen, joining us live now to tell us more about this. And Stephanie, what do you know so far?
Hey, good morning. Well, the tariff announcement yesterday was a 15% tariff rate on most products coming from Europe into the United States. This is the largest trade deal that President Trump has been able to announce since he had that April 2nd big tariff announcement, really pushing for individual trade deals with countries around the world. So Europe, the European Union, remember, a 27-nation bloc. So this is a really big deal. What does the U.S. bring in from Europe? The biggest category for us is medications and pharmaceutical products. The second largest category is cars and vehicles. The U.S. is the largest export market for Europe, and this 15% tariff rate is potentially some worry that the increased tariff rate will trickle down into the prices that we all pay when we are going shopping and when we're spending our hard-earned cash, if you will. But so far, we'll just kind of have to wait and see how exactly that all shakes out. There are still some details of this deal that need to be worked out. This is really a framework that was announced by President Trump and the European Commissioner Chief Ursula von der Leyen. This really is on par with what we've seen from other trade announcements, getting that big framework deal, getting kind of that top line tariff number. This is the fifth deal that the president has been able to announce. First, it was one with the United Kingdom. And then we got 3 deals last week, first with Japan, and then with Vietnam, and then with Indonesia. But again, the European Union, 27-nation bloc. This is certainly the biggest deal that the Trump administration has announced thus far, and it's with the tariff deadline just a few days away. August 1st is the deadline the Trump administration has set for other countries to make a trade deal and avoid increased tariffs that the president initially announced back on April 2nd. The Commerce Secretary, in an interview yesterday on Fox News, said there aren't going to be any more grace periods. There's not going to be any more exceptions to that August 1st deadline. But in the same interview, he also said that President Trump is always willing to listen. So trade will likely be a big topic this week as we look ahead to the next few days and whether we're going to get any more trade deals announced before that August 1st deadline.
Good to know. Stephanie, thank you so much for the information.
I appreciate the insight. Looking forward to talking again very soon.
Hey there, good morning, happy Monday. So heading out the door, things will be pretty much the most comfortable type of weather experience you can have heading out the door right now. That heat's going to ramp up as we head towards this afternoon. And overall in our forecast, we can expect high pressure to just really dominate our area here in South Texas. So that means we can expect more heat on the way, as well as more sunshine coming in throughout each and every afternoon here in the forecast. But we'll also see some moisture begin to rebound. That's going to lead towards a bit of an increase in our heat risk coming in for the second half of our work week. But right now, let's go ahead and get into what you can expect for your forecast today heading out the door. Looking at your forecast at a glance here. Right now, starting us off this morning, got to decrease that cloud cover as we look ahead towards the later hours in the day, looking at mostly sunny skies by the time we head towards this afternoon. Also, again, like I mentioned, high pressure is going to dominate our area, so that means lots of sunshine, and that's going to promote more of those higher temperatures, slightly above average for us today. All of us will probably see our afternoon high temperatures reach towards those mid to upper 90s across the coastal bend by this afternoon, but thankfully we got a decent enough breeze that will be going as we look ahead towards the afternoon too. Right now we have our wind speeds pretty much in a lighter fashion, barely reaching its way nearby 10 miles an hour, but by the time we reach toward this afternoon, we'll mostly have those wind speeds reaching nearby 20 miles an hour across the area. But right now, waking up, again, things are feeling comfortable enough. You're going to see those temperatures reaching, for the most part, toward those upper 70s to lower 80s across the area. So again, not really feeling oppressive just quite yet in our forecast, but we will start to see, looking at our future tracker, by the time we head towards around midday, we'll see a bit of a decrease of that cloud cover, allowing for more sunshine for us in the area. By the same time frame, we'll see those temperatures increasing towards those upper 80s to lower 90s. Feel like temperatures well into those upper 90s, starting to approach that triple-digit level at that point. And then heading towards around 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon or early evening, we'll all be sitting towards those 90s, mid to upper 90s for our afternoon high temperatures, and feel like temperatures, of course, ranging towards those triple digits across the area as well. Now, again, we'll still have a little bit of moisture interacting in our area right now, of course, thanks to those southeasterly winds, but with high pressure continue to dominate, and as well as that increase of moisture coming back into the area for the second half of our work week, that's what's going to lead towards those higher feel-like temperatures. But right now, we have a decent enough wind, like I said, to offer us a little bit of relief, going upwards nearby 15 to 20 miles an hour across the area. But here's our culprit for our forecast pattern that we can expect this week. High pressure just dominating our area, keeping us locked in with all that sunshine. And of course, that's going to also promote lack of any beneficial rainfall in the forecast for now. So that's why we're not really looking at a really good increase of that right now in our forecast across the area. But looking at our heat risk for today, anywhere between that minor to moderate risk. That moderate risk will start to extend throughout eastern portions of the coastal bend each and every day for us, with most of us going to be in that range by the time we head towards your Wednesday. But towards the second half of your work week, most of us will be either between that moderate to maybe major risk of heat danger, with that increase of moisture coming in towards the latter half of our work week. But either way, lots of sunshine and warmer temperatures in those 90s.
Well, it's the start of the weekend. You might need to fill up that tank, right? But where to find the cheapest gas in your neighborhood? Don't worry, folks. I got the answer for you when we come back. Okay, guys, it is that time once again. Beginning of the week, you might need to fill up that tank, right? Well, I'm going to show you the cheapest gas prices around the coastal bend and take a look at those national averages. Let's start there. According to Gas Buddy, national averages $3.11. That is actually down by about 4 cents since Friday. As for Lone Star State, sitting at $2.73 right there. That's down by 6 cents since Friday. So we're on that right trajectory since we did see that increase the week before. Let's see if we can do better in the Coastal Bend. Take a look at the Corpus Christi prices. Third place, HEB on Castores, $2.67. Second place, Murphy Express on Flower Bluff. And then the first place is going to be at the Valero on McCardle and Ricky. That's going to be $2.59. As for our Portland friends, looks like you have 2 spots that are the cheapest in town. That is going to be the Texan and, of course, the Murphy USA, Murphy Express, right there next to the Walmart. As for our island friends, looks like the Valero on 361 and Piper Boulevard is going to be the cheapest for you at $2.72. As always, if you can find cheaper prices than any of the ones that I have mentioned, definitely stop and fill up and maybe let your favorite anchor know about it as well so I can let the rest of the public know.
All right, good morning. Good morning. Taking a live look outside now of our first community bank sky cam atop the USS Lexington. We can see things are looking pretty well for us this morning. Got some small, subtle hints that sunrise is beginning off in our skies right now. But focusing on that traffic flow, things are looking pretty good. Heading both on the new and old harbor bridges with no traffic issues right now to be concerned about. So that's some good news heading out the door. Getting you started on this Monday morning. Let's go and take a look at the rest of our traffic flow map, see what else you can expect on other roadways across the area. Heading on Ocean Drive down to SPID and on Saratoga. All 3 of those roadways, you see those shades of green, letting you know that traffic flow is moving well on all 3 of those roadways right now. Heading on over towards Flower Bluff, got a little bit of a medium to slow speed that you're going to encounter throughout portions of Waldron Road, so just make sure you keep that in mind. All clear on Flower Bluff Drive, and just a little bit of a medium speed that you'll see getting a little bit closer towards the gate at NAS Corpus Christi. Then hang on over toward the JFK Causeway, going to and from the island, looking at easy driving conditions right now to get you started this morning. That's it for Track Report with details of your forecast coming up.
Now, weather on the 6s.
Good morning, and welcome back. Taking a live look now outside of our Snoopy's Pier Sky Cam, sponsored by CCAC. You can see those gorgeous hints of that sunrise right now, starting to begin over beyond the JFK Causeway there. You can see a little bit cloud cover. We'll, of course, see a little bit some partly cloudy skies starting us out this morning. That will eventually lead towards mostly sunny conditions by the time we head towards midday and by this afternoon. But gorgeous picturesque view right now, taking a look at our sky cam here. But things are feeling comfortable right now, but we can expect some more heat coming in back in the forecast by the time we head towards this afternoon. And high pressure will be dominating our area all throughout our work week, so that means lots of sunshine and heat on the way, with increasing heat risk coming in on the second half of our work week. But before we go ahead and get into that, right now let's go and take a look at your forecast today at a glance here. Having decreased the cloud cover by the time we head towards this afternoon, leading towards our mostly sunny conditions. And also, again, like I mentioned, high pressure is going to be dominating our area, so that means a lot of heat and humidity on the way for us. So that means a lot of our temperatures will be reaching towards those mid to upper 90s daily for us here in the coastal bend, certainly for us today. And also got a little bit of a breeze, thankfully, coming in anywhere between 10 to 20 miles an hour as we look ahead towards this afternoon. So breezy conditions coming into the mix by this afternoon. Right now, though, lighter wind speeds are going below those double digits at this point. Looking at our temperatures, I feel like temperatures across the area mostly reaching towards those upper 70s to lower 80s across the area. So fairly comfortable enough conditions to start us off on this Monday morning. But looking ahead towards our future tracker here, can start to see a bit of a dissipation of that cloud cover, decreasing over the next few hours, leading towards maybe some partly cloudy skies by the time we reach towards 10, 11 o'clock this morning. By this afternoon, all that cloud cover will mostly start to shift its way further out west, allowing for most of our coastal neighborhoods to see a bit of a more sunny conditions over the course of our afternoon. And we'll also see at that same time temperatures reaching towards those mid to upper 90s, and feel like temperatures well into those triple digits. But like I mentioned, lighter wind speeds right now that will pick up as we head towards this afternoon. Right now, wind speeds going below 10 miles an hour throughout the majority of our morning, then heading towards the afternoon, increasing towards nearby 15 miles an hour. Maybe areas a little bit more closer to the coast, you can see your wind speeds maybe getting a little bit closer towards nearby 20 miles an hour, before all of us start to see a decrease in that by the time we head towards our evening hours. Now, looking at our upper level pattern, this is our culprit. This is what's going to keep us in the same weather pattern each and every day for us this week. That's why, like I mentioned, with all that heat and sunshine on the way. All that's going to be due towards high pressure just sticking around all across the Lone Star State for us this week. So that's why we're not going to see too much of any changes in our forecast other than maybe a slightly increase of our feel-like temperatures with the moisture coming back to the area. And that's also going to drive an increase in our heat danger and heat risk for us in the next coming days. So right now for us today, just looking at anywhere of a minor to moderate risk of heat danger, mostly of that moderate risk maybe being more concentrated for more inland portions of coastal Bend, but we'll start to see that extend closer towards western portions of the area as we look ahead towards tomorrow and certainly by your Wednesday. And right now, we're just going to be in our bit of a grace period, so to speak, because we'll only be looking at those levels 1 and 2 out of 4 for heat risk. But by the time we head towards the second half of our work week, with that increase of moisture coming back into the area, that's going to translate to slightly above average temperatures and our heat risk increasing towards that major zone for some neighborhoods. So right now, looking at a lot of heat being circulated for us here in the coastal Bend with that increase of moisture coming in towards the second half of our work week. But either way, lots of sunshine coming to the mix all across the area.
Now, say hello to your neighbors. This is your Chris 6 News Sunrise Shoutouts.
Hey Chris Sunrise, it's Drew with Candy Andy, and we're over here at House of Blends. I want to say good morning to all those watching this. Big thank you to House of Blends for contributing to the back to school drive for Candy Andy and donating haircuts to all the kids to get them ready for this 2025-2026 school year. Thank you guys.
Yes, and you know what? Over the weekend, they gave away 300 backpacks filled with supplies. So we want to say thank you and good morning to Candy Andy and House of Blends Barbershop. Folks, if you want to send us your own shout out video, all you have to do is scan the QR code on your screen or go to our website, christv.com.
Long before the Alamo became a military fort, it was a religious outpost of the Spanish Empire named Mission San Antonio de Valero, originally built upriver from where the Alamo currently stands. It was moved twice before the final location was chosen in 1724. It served as a Catholic mission until 1793, when the church handed it over to residents of what became known as the Pueblo de Valero. Spanish soldiers known as the Alamo Company would take over the mission in 1803. They converted the mission's old priest quarters into barracks and established the first hospital in Texas on the second floor of the building. The Alamo Company would remain at the old mission through the Mexican revolt against Spain in 1821. After Mexico gained its independence, colonists were allowed to move into Texas and enjoyed a semi-free way of life far from the capital in Mexico. But the election of Antonio López de Santa Anna as president in 1833 would eventually spark the Texas battle for independence. It all started on October 2nd, 1835 in the town of Gonzales. The Mexican army arrived to take back a cannon loaned to the city to help protect against native tribes, but the residents refused to hand it over. More than 180 men stood their ground against 100 Mexican soldiers, forcing the Mexican army to retreat to San Antonio without the cannon. More than 400 volunteer Texians marched to San Antonio alongside people like Jim Bowie, James Fannin, and Juan Seguin, under the command of Stephen F. Austin. On October 28th, the Texian army laid siege to San Antonio, defeating the Mexican army. Nearly a month later, the Texian army once again defeated the Mexican army and began fortifying the Alamo and San Antonio. 3 months later, on February 23rd, 1836, Santa Anna's army began arriving in San Antonio. Jim Bowie and Green B. Jameson met with Mexican officials where Santa Anna demanded the Texian surrender. The other Alamo commander, 26-year-old William B. Travis, answered the demands with a cannon shot, kicking off the 13-day siege of the Alamo. Travis would write one of the most famous letters in American history, addressed to the people of Texas and all Americans in the world. It ended with the phrase, "Victory or death, the only outcome the battle could have." At dawn on March 6th, 1836, the 13th day of the siege, the Battle of the Alamo began. Fighting lasted only minutes. All of the Alamo defenders were killed, including former Tennessee Congressman David Crockett. The fall of the Alamo was felt across the world, with defenders coming from many different countries. While the Alamo wasn't the only loss the Texians would suffer, it was the most important. And Remember the Alamo became a rallying cry for the rest of the revolution.
Hey there, good morning. Happy Monday. Right now, taking a live look outside, or I should say rather at what we can expect for your planner here. We can see things will start to warm up for us over the course of our morning, heading towards the afternoon. Starting out with a lot of cloud cover throughout some portions of the coastal bend, but all of us start to see a little bit more sunshine throughout midday and heading towards this afternoon. Eventually looking at mostly sunny skies by that time frame. Now looking at our temperatures, those will start to increase for us as well, reaching towards those 90s as we head towards the afternoon, eventually reaching our afternoon high temperature of 95 degrees here in Corpus Christi. Also, we can expect some of a breeze to start to come in throughout the morning and heading towards the afternoon, really increasing nearby 15 to 20 miles an hour as we head towards the afternoon for us here in the area. So again, can see a bit of a warm up, but thankfully still a bit of a breeze to help us out in terms of counteracting all that heat that we'll have to deal with in the coastal bend throughout the afternoon. Now looking at our 7-day forecast, pretty much a really strong weather pattern of a lot of sunshine and heat that's going to be on the way in our area. Not expecting much of any really big changes coming in the forecast, with more moisture and humidity coming the second half of our work week.
From Chris 6, this is 20 minutes of non-stop news.
Welcome back, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in for our 20 minutes of non-stop news with the Hoffmans. I'm Brian Hoffman.
And I'm Michelle Hoffman. We'll check in with meteorologist Julia Quady in just a bit. But first, here's your neighborhood check-in.
I'm your Rockport neighborhood news reporter, Adam Beam. The airport behind me was damaged in Hurricane Harvey. Over 8 years later, the two companies that helped rebuild it say they still haven't been paid for their work.
Western Steel Company and T2J Partners, the companies behind the lawsuit against Aransas County. The suit cites that both companies have yet to be paid for their work in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey. The companies worked on several recovery projects, but documents obtained by Chris 6 cites the Aransas County Airport as the main point of contention. However, the county argues that while these projects were on their behalf, the contracts and subsequent payments should be handled by Regional Pool Alliance. And while the RPA covered insurance for the county, the suit cites no official contract between the two. Chris 6 reached out to Aransas County Judge Ray Garza and T2J, who said they could not speak on ongoing litigation, while Western Steel did not respond to our request for comment.
As of our reporting, this case remains in the 13th Court of Appeals. We will continue to update neighbors as we learn more. Reporting in Rockport for Chris 6 News, I'm Adam Beam.
I'm Tony Jaramillo, your neighborhood news reporter in Flower Bluff, where one young girl took a childhood tradition and turned it into a powerful way to give back. Hey, Lily, can I get a glass? Sure. That's Lily Underbrink, a 9-year-old entrepreneur who set up a lemonade stand in Flower Bluff. But instead of keeping the $142 she raised, she decided to mix things up, giving every penny she made to flood victims in Kerr County. Her mom, Audrey Underbrink, says she couldn't be prouder of her daughter's decision. The family took the donation to Whataburger. They were already collecting money for flood victims. Lily tells me she's not sure if she'll set up another lemonade stand, but at the end of the day, she's just grateful to be able to help. From lemons to love, Lily's kindness proves that no one is too small to make a big difference. In Flower Bluff, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Tony Jaramillo, Chris 6 News.
There's this awesome organization in Alice called Mi Casa Home Health that's been doing something really cool for local kids. They handed out a bunch of vouchers so hundreds of students could get free shoes for the new school year. Parents were super grateful because, let's be real, back to school shopping gets expensive. One mom, Savannah Lopez, said it saved her about $100 for her daughters. But it's not just about the money. She mentioned how new shoes actually boost kids' confidence too, which is pretty sweet. The woman behind it all is Blanca Castillo Garcia. Blanca Castillo Garcia tells me over the last 5 years, her organizations have spent nearly $100,000 on this annual shoe event. I'm Melissa Trevino, your neighborhood news reporter in Alice, Chris 6 News.
ghosts, ghouls, and a great show. I'm Erin Holly, your Port Aransas Neighborhood News reporter, and Beetlejuice Jr. is ready to take the stage right here at the Port Aransas Community Theater.
I am the juice, Beetlejuice.
14-year-old Audrielle Jimenez is the leader of the pack at PACT, also known as the Port Aransas Community Theater.
Well, I'm not a cameo character anymore. This is my first lead, and I get to be the big man, the title character.
Beetlejuice follows the storyline of Lydia Dietz, a teenager who's obsessed with death and gets haunted by the demon Beetlejuice.
It's really great. It's a good show. Everybody's put so much work into this.
One of those dedicated people is Assistant Director Braden Jake. He's a senior at Texas A&M Corpus Christi.
Turn to the left, 2, 3, 4. This production, we have a lot of pop culture references in this show, and I think the kids latch onto that, and it just makes it even more funny.
Now we know you're woke, but you can take a joke. Young actors from all over the Coastal Bend come to the Port Aransas Community Theater to be a part of productions like Beetlejuice Jr.
This is my first show at Port A. Very welcoming, very kind. That's just kind of what theater is. This cast is just completely welcome you with open arms.
And they tell me the Beetlejuice cast is like one big family.
We all treat each other like family, and it's so awesome. Everybody loves each other, and it feels more like a home.
I work out, I eat clean, someone pass the Dramamine.
That's why this Beetlejuice family wants you to come see their production.
I'm just looking to make this the best show as we can and make it better and improve every day. Add a little extra, maybe improvise a little, make the people laugh.
That beautiful sound.
Beetlejuice Jr. at the Port Aransas Community Theater runs through August 3rd. In Port Aransas, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Erin Holly, Chris 6 News.
Hey there, good morning. Happy Monday. Heading out the door. Things will be feeling comfortable for now, but that heat is really for sure going to tack on as we look ahead towards this afternoon. It's going to be pretty much of a daily weather pattern for us here in the area too. A lot of heat's going to continue to push its way into the area with us being dominated by high pressure. But right now it's going to go ahead and take a look at our Snoopy Spears Sky Cam sponsored by CCAC. We can see we're looking at a mixture of some cloud cover in our skies right now, but not too much, just a couple passing clouds that will continue to dissipate over the next few hours, allowing for more sunshine as we head towards this afternoon. Overall, those is what else we can expect in our forecast this week. Again, looking at a lot of heat and sunshine coming in as high pressure dominates our area all throughout the week this week. But we'll also start to see a bit of an increase of heat danger coming back into the area on the second half of our work week here as we start to see a little bit more moisture begin to rebound and come back into our area here in South Texas. But even with that rebound of moisture, we're still not really looking at any promising rain chances in the forecast for now. So things are going to be a bit on the drier side for us at this point as you continue to track that. But right now, taking a look at our temperatures, and feel like temperatures across the area reaching towards those 70s to lower 80s across the area here in the Coastal Bend. So fairly decent start to us for this morning, but that heat again is going to pack its punch as we head towards this afternoon. Looking at mostly sunny conditions by that point as well, reaching towards those lower 90s, but in between that 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock hour, we'll see our afternoon high temperature of 95 degrees here in Corpus Christi. And again, also we'll see those winds begin to pick up during our afternoon, going anywhere between 15 to 20 miles an hour as we head towards this afternoon as well. Then we'll see a little bit lower wind speeds by this evening. We'll also see our temperatures drop pretty considerably as well towards those lower 70s as we'll have a bit of a drier air starting to dominate our area. But again, looking at a forecast high temperature of 95 degrees here in Corpus Christi, mostly sunny skies by the time we reach towards this afternoon. It's still going to be hot and breezy for us here, but decent enough breeze as you saw with those winds going nearby 15 to 20 miles an hour, hopefully giving us a bit of relief as we go through our afternoon. But looking at high pressure, this is what's going to be dominating our area, giving us this pretty repetitive weather pattern that we're going to be in store for all throughout this week. But again, we'll start to see that heat risk really start to increase daily for us here in the Coastal Bend. But first, on the second half of our work week, only looking at anywhere between that minor to moderate risk. So it's level 1 and 2 for heat danger in the forecast today, starting to extend to more majority moderate heat risk ahead for us tomorrow. And as we look ahead towards your Wednesday, going up towards that major risk by the time we head towards the end of our work week with that moisture increase, but still lots of sunshine and temperatures in those 90s.
Now, 6 things to know before you go.
Yes, here's your 6 things to know before you head out the door to get your week started, too.
Yeah, President Trump is expected to meet with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer today to discuss trade. The meeting comes after a major trade agreement was reached on Sunday for a 15% tariff between the U.S. and European Union. Starmer is expected to push for cuts to import taxes on Scotch whiskey and British steel. That's according to the Financial Times. The two are also expected to discuss expanding market access in the two countries.
Here in your neighborhood, drivers might want to be aware of a new traffic signal. Starting this week, a new permanent traffic signal will be activated at the Port Avenue and Interstate Highway 37 frontage road intersections. The signal will replace the always stop condition currently in place, so make sure you're aware of the change and slow down in the work zone. And remember, all work is weather permitting as well.
Well, a small section of the Lawrence T Head has been closed because of the ongoing pier replacement project. That section near the marina office will be closed for about 2 weeks while crews install water and sewer lines. Access to the T Heads remains open. Visitors are asked to follow posted detour signs to drive through the construction zone.
The Nueces County Public Health District is getting kids ready to go back to school with their no-cost back-to-school clinic. It will take place next Monday, just 1 week from today, with the clinic extending their hours to 8 a.m. until 7 p.m. at 1702 Horn Road. The clinic says it's aiming to ensure that all students can have access to essential immunizations for a healthy and safe return to school.
Well, roughly 3.6 million Hydrotech 5/8-inch expandable burst-proof hoses have been recalled. Despite being called burst-proof, Winston Products says that there have been more than 200 incidents where these hoses did in fact burst. More than 24 related injuries were reported, including a pair of sprains and bone bruises. The hoses were sold nationally at various retailers, including Ace Hardware, Home Depot, and Target from 2021 through April. We have that hose.
Now, more than 850,000 fragrance diffusers are being recalled because of a magnet ingestion hazard to children. The recall is for Purifor Smart Home fragrance diffusers with detachable covers. The magnets on the inside cover can detach and cause serious health issues if they're swallowed. So if you have one of these diffusers, it is recommended that you throw away the existing detachable cover and contact PuraSense for a free replacement cover.
All right, now taking a live look outside of our Skycam over top SPID, because the roadways are beginning to get a tiny bit more busy, but not that hectic at all. Going in either direction there, you can see that traffic flow is still looking to be pretty good heading out the door. Thankfully, again, you started on this Monday morning. Let's go and take a look at the rest of the traffic flow maps to get a better idea we can expect on other roadways to get you started this morning too. As we saw on our Skycam, things are looking pretty good heading on SPID. All clear as well heading on Ocean Drive and on Saratoga right now. All those shades of green lane. You know the traffic flow is pretty comfortable across the area. Same thing heading on over to Flower Bluff on Waldron Road and on Flower Bluff Drive. Then heading on towards the JFK Causeway, going to and from the island, looking at the same easy driving conditions with all those shades of green. That's it for Triport. More details from your forecast coming up.
Julia, thank you so much. New tax rules for charitable donations are ahead. Starting next year, how you donate will affect your tax break deductions. Standard deduction filers can write off up to $1,000 in cash gifts, $2,000 for joint filers, and that's double the old pandemic era limit. Non-cash gifts like clothes or food will face stricter limits, though. Those who itemize their deductions will, for the first time, be allowed to deduct their cash contributions only to the extent they exceed 0.5% of their adjusted gross income.
Well, having a wedding is a big investment, folks. Trust me, Michelle and I know that. So wedding costs tens of thousands of dollars. And in today's uncertain economy, many couples are opting for what's called micro weddings. Scripps News Group consumer reporter John Matarese tells us how couples are able to have a beautiful wedding on a very tight budget.
The average wedding in the U.S. now costs over $35,000. As a result, many brides and grooms are now doing everything they can to keep those costs down. The latest way? Micro weddings.
Jenna McCart is trying to keep her wedding costs down, designing her own invitations.
I had kind of a template.
And planning a backyard ceremony. But the biggest saving, she says, was deciding on a micro wedding.
So I think we invited around 25 people.
Instead of second cousins and friends of her parents.
It's pretty much immediate family and then our bridal party.
That slashed the original $18,000 estimate.
We're doing everything in total for probably around
10 to 12.
So did you think about having a smaller wedding?
At the bridal shop Bridal Informal, manager Tina Minchell says many couples are going smaller.
When you cut down your guest list, you can make a huge savings because the cost of food, the alcohol, those are the big ones.
Shane McMurray with the Wedding Report says that these days couples have different priorities.
Couples, especially younger millennials, Gen Z, really like a tighter knit group of people when they're thinking about getting married.
Research by the Wedding Report found micro weddings grew from 10% in 2013 to 20% during the pandemic. They now account for 18% of weddings. In addition to cutting the guest list, McMurray also says couples are reevaluating where they're spending those wedding dollars.
Top three things are the venue, the food, the photography, and then the attire. And those are probably the core things that they're buying. And really that trend's been since COVID.
With the money Jenna McCart is saving on her micro wedding.
I'd rather spend it on something like a house or like a honeymoon, which is kind of what we did.
Plus a few extra dollars for her dress and veil.
It's all coming together now.
So you don't waste your money. John Mattery, Scripps News Group.
All right, folks, on to what's trending. An asteroid that once appeared to be on a potential collision course with Earth could hit the moon instead. The asteroid, known as 2024 YR4, very original name there, was discovered late last year. Scientists initially said it looked like a building-size object and that it might hit Earth by the end of 2032. But researchers have now ruled that out. The latest data shows that the asteroid could pose a threat by slamming into the moon. Scientists say Earth would not face significant physical danger if that happens, but astronauts and infrastructure on the lunar surface, possibly at that time, could be at risk. Asteroid 2024 Henry, as Michelle might call it.
You know, when I was 5, I was so obsessed with dinosaurs that I had this big fear that a comet would come and wipe us all out. I don't know. I was like 5 or 6 years old.
You thought we would be like that?
Yes, but
I mean, that's a legitimate fear. Look at the movie Armageddon, right? We want to have Bruce Willis to save us up there.
You're like...
You guys have not seen that movie, have you?
Now I feel like it's a running joke. You like to mention movies that you feel like I probably don't know about just to make me feel bad.
I don't think she's seen it either, though.
Oh, okay.
So
No,
it's okay.
I haven't.
That was not targeted at you at all. It was actually targeted at my Armageddon fans out there. I know you guys are out there, right? Back me up. No? Crickets? All right.
Silence.
All right. Silence. I'm on an island.
I'm screaming. Anyway, getting to what you can expect in your forecast today. At a glance here, we're starting off a little bit cloudy. It's a couple passing clouds in our skies for us this morning that will start to dissipate, allowing for more sunshine and eventually mostly sunny conditions by the time we reach towards this afternoon. Also, we're going to be dominated by high pressure all throughout the week this week, so that means our temperatures will be pretty consistent, reaching at least towards those mid to upper 90s across the area. So it's going to be making for pretty spicy hot conditions each and every afternoon for us here in South Texas. Also, thankfully, for today at least, we'll have a decent enough breeze going anywhere between 10 to 15 or maybe close to 20 miles an hour for maybe areas a little bit more close to the coast. So a breezy afternoon that will be in store for later on today to hopefully counteract some of that heat that we have to deal with later on in the day. Right now, taking a look at our temperatures, I feel like temperatures across the area reaching at least towards those upper 70s to lower 80s across the area. So again, fairly comfortable-ish morning starts off for us on this Monday. But let's go ahead and get into what we can expect with our dog walking forecast. First, introducing our star for today. We have Maki here, expecting hopefully nice conditions, especially under all that fur heading out this morning. Now, thankfully, things will be comfortable right now, but heading towards the afternoon, a lot more heat and humidity will start to come on into the area, so that's going to lead to a very significant warm up in our temperatures by the time we reach towards our afternoon, already getting towards those lower 90s by lunchtime under mostly sunny skies. Also, though, by the same time frame, a bit of an increase in our wind speeds, starting to get closer towards those double digits. Again, hopefully a nice enough breeze to counteract all that heat that's going to be in store for us today. Now, looking at our forecast today, again, reaching towards a temperature nearby 95 degrees here in Corpus Christi, again under mostly sunny skies, so still hot for us here in the coastal bend. But either way, that humidity is taking a bit of a back seat somewhat for us today. Drier air is going to settle on in, but we'll still see a bit of an increase in our heat risk each and every day this week for us today, anywhere between that minor to moderate risk. But by the time we head towards the second half of our work week, more of a major risk of heat danger coming in as we expect some more moisture start to rebound into the area. So not so much reflected in our air temperatures, but feel like temperatures are really going to increase for us by the time we reach towards our Wednesday.
90s. Oh, man, I know. Yeah, I was just dread on my face. These two, happy as a clam, but man.
Cool weather.
Yeah, that is. I'm resurfacing the pool right
I
now.
know.
So, yeah.
So
Anyway.
he's sweating out there.
Thanks for tuning in, folks. Hope you have a great week ahead. See you soon.
Bye.